Hi everyone, thank you for joining. My name is Angela and I'm the GDSC lead of my campus, Dr. Shudi Chandrashud Institute of Technology. And along with me, I have Harsh Chabra as a co-host and Vilsi Jain as a guest speaker for today's session on Intro to Web Development. So now I would like to invite Harsh for introducing our speaker for today. And in the meantime, I would like to address that we are bringing the campaign of web development in collaboration with 15 plus GDSCs. And for more details, you can visit the description box below. And now I would like to invite Harsh to introduce our speaker to begin the session with.
Hello everyone, I am Harsh, GDSC lead of NIT Kshetra, and I am inviting Vilsi Jain for today's session. Hi Vilsi, let me give a brief introduction of Vilsi. Vilsi is an AI app developer intern at crosscert-aibrain, Beta Microsoft Now Student Masters, and Azure Developer Community Lead of Jaipur City. Vilsi. Hello, Vilsi.
You may begin with the session, Wilson.
I'm audible?
Yeah, you're audible.
Okay, earlier I was not able to listen your voice. So hello everyone. Let me firstly share my screen and start. Just a minute. Okay. Sorry for the. So, hello everyone, and thank you, Harsh, for giving the introduction for me. And I would like this is the introduction to the web development. So here we will be like covering most of the part, like how you have to start with the development and a little bit introduction about the HTML, CSS part. And with that, what we'll be doing today, we will be making a small login sign up page. And with that, today we will be only creating that. And in the next session, when we will be integrating with the Firebase, as we will be taking front end and back end both, like whatever the data which come from the login, that will be the stored in the Firebase, and we will be seeing more about the Firebase. So in this session, you will be going through all about the HTML, CSS part. So yes, what we will be doing in this session is HTML, CSS, and little bit about the JavaScript, and somewhat about the VS Code. What is VS Code? VS Code is like a platform where we can run our HTML, CSS, and all the like web development, app development. We can run anything like if you want to go with the C++. So I think most of you have used VS Code for developing and for programming, right? So I would like to suggest some of the extensions which will be really helpful for you to use it because like whenever a developer is working, like developer works a lot whenever they are building an application, and they really need a flexibility to work it on, right? So what all are the extension you can have it on, like this beautify, you can note it down, because like these are some extensions which are really good. Okay, beautify, remote WSL. You can use Spotify with the VS Code, because many of us like to listen the song with that. With that, you can have like whenever you will search about regarding the design in the extension, just click on the setting and you can open. Okay, let me show you the with the VS Code too. Yes. So you can like go just in the setting and check it out. Like if you put the design color, you will be seeing able to see like in the HTML, in the body part, in the head part, it will be doing a different color for all. Right. So, what is HTML? Like we know hypertext markup language. This is something like a full form. Like, but why we use it and what is it? Basically, we use this to design the web developer, like web designing, and in the HTML, like it's like text markup language. In markup language, we need to write the text. Like we have that HTML text. So what this is called an opening tag, and this is called a closing tag. So what happened in the C++, how we start with our coding, like hashtag include IOStream, right? But in the HTML, how to start with that, we use first this open tag, and in middle of that we put like head, like we give the header as the name with the head, and then we just like close it, right? In the last, after everything, we again write head and with the closing remark. So this is something like in HTML, and HTML is really very easy to work it on, because actually, like if you are in CBSC student, even in the 6th or 7th class, you get the HTML. So most of you know about little bit about the HTML, but yes, we will be covering from the starting. Now, after giving the head title, we will be giving the body, and this is called that header text. Like headers, what are headers? If we need to write something, let me show you in the extension part. Okay. Okay, what happens like whenever I open my VS Code, it makes some problem. So I will be showing in the online mode. Are you able to see my code pen screen, Harsh? Anyone can tell?
Yeah, it's visible.
Okay, just a minute. Okay, great. Uh, so let me show you. Actually, I was using this for that. Now I will show like don't take it as JS part. This take is it like as in code editor, right? So yes, now we can see. We can close the title. Now how we need to close that? So we have read that we need to just put this symbol, right? Now we can just write the body part. Body is something like in the body part we can just write many things at a time. Like I want to tell, firstly let's go with the header part. What is header? First, like in what happens if the first thing is little bit capital, then we need to write in a small way. So if we write like h1 in between, like anything you can write, then you just close h1, right? Then you write h2 ahead and h2. Now what happens, like this will be little bit big, this will be little bit small. We can go till the h6 part, and we can start with that. We have like in starting we need to write doc. Okay. So I think like don't go with the don't go with the steps, because like it's I was explaining. So now let's start with that. Like firstly we need to write doc.html. Okay. Doc.html is like something header. Now we use the head. Now from this head we can start our main thing. Like whatever after the head, whatever we write like in the title section, that will be presented on your output screen, right? In the title, this title you will be seeing like this in the name of here. This will be the title. Okay. In the body means like all the things which you need on your page, that will be coming on your body part. Headers like this is h1 h2 are like the headings or something. Yeah, you can take, if you are taking h1 to h6, it will be according to their size. So this is an header tag. Same like a paragraph, like if you are writing the 100 lines in the on the website, so you just need to start with the p, paste or write your 100 lines, then just close with that remark symbol. Now hyperlinks, what are hyperlinks? Whenever we need to write any website or something, like if we write, I just write LinkedIn. In the LinkedIn, if I like, if anyone click on this LinkedIn button, that then he will be reaching on my LinkedIn. So this is something like hyperlinking anything. So with the how you can hyperlink anything, just use a mark and that will be hyperlink. Table, if you want to make a table format, so you can just make a table. So now you can understand like how easier the HTML is. Like with a simple tag, just you need to write and your work will be done, right? Like for the bracket we have br images, you just need to write img equals to your image link or something, and just close that image. Your image will be shown in the output. Input link. So this is something like just with the help of the headers and all, you just make with the help of the text, you can easily work it on. So now you have seen like HTML is so much easier. Now this is the pretty good example. uh, Yes. So now we can understand like we have written any name, and this is the H1 header, like example of header use tag in introduction. Now it would be H2. This thing, like it can be in the paragraph form, right? Because like otherwise for this you can even use the H6 too. And if we write like 2-3 lines at a time, then it can be in paragraph too. Okay, and for the image I used like img. You can use this, and for the like hyperlinking you can use this like a in the tag, and it will be hyperlink. So this is like how you now you can see that how much easier the HTML is. Like you can give 5 days to the HTML, not even the 5 days, 2-3 days is enough for the HTML to cover all. Now like HTML layout, what is the HTML layout? Just I shown you in the code pen. This is like the first header is something like we start, then a navigator, index.html, like you want to give, and the section, article, aside, and the footer. So this is the like table, we have used a table format, and you can just write in that table form, right? And now like what we can build it in, like we have many courses, like we can build anything, but for now I will be showing you how to make a login page and all. So what's the CSS part? Cascading, like what's the CSS part is, in the CSS we can go more through the coloring part and designing part. CSS is something like if we want to go particularly on the color part, particularly on the image settings and making it more animation, so like we can use the CSS part. And CSS is the language like which we use to style the HTML part. because HTML what we are doing, we are just writing in a simple format. Here you can see like it was in like bit simple format. You can see now, but we what we want in our site, we want a color, because you have been seen the Wikipedia earlier. It's in bit HTML form, but we always need a bit color and bit setting with the image and all. So we need a CSS, right? And basically CSS used to describe like how the HTML element will be displayed on the screen. Okay. If you want, we need so we can just define the size like 20, 22, and any font style you want, you can give it, right? Now this specificity, we can have a small example. This is something like giving a message in the introduction to in a red color, green, and p color blue. So it will be like, and what is the fonting size? Px is a pixel, whatever pixels we want in the size. Vw is like width, because we need to define the width, and rem is the relationship between the font size and HTML text. So like why many have the question like why should we learn HTML CSS, like is this important or something? So I will be telling you more defined in the practical way, like why this is important and why it's so much basic for the web development part. Sorry. Yes, CSS properties and displays. So this is something like a block and inline. Block is like making a simple like in the head, like in any of the website. If we go to any website, we will be seeing some blocks in the starting way. Like it will be like footer. It's something like another thing. So inline is like in the block. Like let me show you with any of the website. Let's go to this. So we have something like different part. This is like first body, then we have the second part. Okay, so this is we need to define the block, and in the block we have different buttons, different settings. So this is like inline. Firstly we have two blocks, and in that block we have different partition, right? This is called inline, right? So now we have the CSS properties. Like before going to the properties, I think this is like more explored part. So firstly, we will be going to the small things on the with the CSS and HTML part, and we will be creating like I have already done that, but I will be explaining you, because like if I start writing here, it will be like taking a more time. So I earlier only make this. Okay. So firstly we can go and review this. This is like a welcoming page of our sign up, and we have two colors. So for now we this welcome page will be not working. Like for now we can just write, but the data will be not stored somewhere. But in the next session what we will be doing, we will be linking this to our Firebase, and with the help of the Firebase you will be able to see current update of the data in Firebase. Even the register user, you can see everything what you want. Like if you want an email, password, name, whatever you want, you can make save it in the Firebase. So yes, now like firstly we have like, and this is our HTML part, and this is our CSS part, right? So how we are defining this? Firstly, like we need to take a input. So input will what input will help us? Like input will be help. Just a second, I think screen is done. Okay. So what input will be helping? Like if in the email, Yes. If in the email column we just write input equals to type, input will be helping you for writing an email. Now you can put anything, and if you give any input and click on the sign up page, sign up, it will be like giving you the output for the screen page. So yes, this is the label forget password. I think like my screen is little bit stuck. I was not able to do. Yes. Here, if you click on the sign up page, you will be redirected to the website. If we link the website, right? So let me make any of the change here and show you. Welcome. Okay. Just a minute. I think my screen is stuck and I was not able to. Now it's good. Okay, so if we see here, like forget password, let's go with the starting welcome. Firstly, we have written the welcome in the H2 heading format, because if we want a little bit big, we can go with the H1, right? We have make and span of the email one, and in email we can write anything like Jane, anything I can write here, right? You can write. So this you are able to give the input here. In the password, same we have used a span. Here also we can write the password. So with the help of span and input, we are able to give the input here. Okay. Now, what the forget password? Forget password. If we don't have any account, if we have account but forget the password. So if we are writing here, so they have make that button according to that. In the Firebase can also help us to like retrieve the, because for now we don't have any database, so we can for now we can't retrieve that. But after making that, we will be it will be helping us to do that. Okay. Now these are all the simple part, like using H3 like if you don't have an account, like same here we have written. Okay. Now let's go with the CSS part too. This is the margin and padding. Like in the CSS, we need to give the margin and padding for just defining this. Now we can use like in the starting of that they have defined the font and the background, because like in the CSS we can earlier only define our body part, like which font we will be using in our whole website and what will be the background of the of the page. So this is like the input to like what will be the border outline, but we don't have any border or outline something. We just have like font, so we have used that. Now, what will be the font size, margin, textile? So this is like I believe this you all are able to understand, because it's very easy, like how to define the font size, how to define the margin, text alignment. So text alignment is something like where you want the text like in the center, in the like in the corner part, whatever you want, you can just define that. Okay. Now, what is the border radius? And border radius is this thing. Like I want 20. If I like, let's see the big change. So now you can see like our border radius was changed. And if we do again 20, this is again changed. Now you can see the big difference according to this, right? Okay, so I think like width, height is like width, height, margin is all clear, and this is like box shadow. So you can find if anything you are not able to understand, like what is like 900 px, like how I can understand like what height I want. So you can just search on the internet. Like it will be really helpful. Like what you want the size, because like for everything you have a different requirement, right? So what's your requirement, it's totally depend on you, like what size you want and what margin you want. Okay. I think this all are something like left margin, right margin. And see here, I'm not teaching you everything of that HTML, because like it's not possible for me to write to teach everything. Just I will be telling you all the resources and all the defined path, like how you can begin with that. Now this is same like the image format, like I have told you like background image, because in the most of the website we have like background image. And so how we can use that, like in the CSS, in the next session I will be like doing with my VS Code too, because this time like we have used the code pen, because and next time we will be like showing with the VS Code with a very good manner, like to so everything will be like visible, because now also it's visible to you, but like that time the database and images part will be like how they have stored and how they have done. Okay, so this part is like extend ext.jpg. So this jpg like images you need to save somewhere in that file, so such that it can extract the part. Right, same like many images if they are using, they have saved that. So I think like most of the part of this is covered, and like how this is something like header. Then we have used input and spend, and if we click on the sign up, because for now this button is working. You now you can see that transition. This is something called like if you want to sign in, just click on the sign in part and like fill all the information. But if you want to sign up, just fill all the things like name, email, password, and just click on the sign up. Right. So let's go more about that web development part. Okay. So I have find this roadmap.sh. I will be like sharing the link with you too. Harsh, I have put in the private chat section. Please, can you share in the public section? Okay. So now, if you go on the front end part, okay. I think like this, all are the roadmaps which are really very nicely defined. Okay, so just like for the front end part, firstly, in the front end part, if we are designing any website app, we should know more about the internet domain part, and like HTTPS APIs. So it will be like more familiar and more clear for us too, because this is something like a basic need. If we start making anything, but we don't know how to why we are doing that and how it will be done. So firstly we should need to know about more about like what's HTTP, what is HTTPS, and difference between like HTTP and HTTPS difference. What are APIs? What are domain name? What are like what is hosting? How to host? Like how to host you can do afterwards, like after making a website. But what you should know the difference between the domain name and hosting. Like how what is domain? Taking a domain. What is hosting? What is API? Right. Now as the basic need, firstly we need to go with the HTML CSS. Mostly max to max HTML and CSS take 15 to 20 days, like, but if you are taking giving bit of more time, it will be done fast. But like if we are making with the project, because like HTML CSS is not something like that. If you just need to write like with the help of H1 H2 H3, we will be making something. You need to make a practical implementation too. So I would suggest whenever you start learning HTML CSS, try to do more about the practical part too, because it will be like more clear for you. Right. And CSS, we have told you the difference. CSS like it's for the designing part. Then you can go with the JavaScript. And from where to learn, I will be showing you that. But firstly, understand the flow. And I think like whenever you get any problem, you can just check this flow, right? Whatever what I suggest you, like this is something a tip, like if you are just working on the front end part, you are working on the web development, app development, anything, please try to put your project on the GitHub, because it's very important to put on the GitHub. Because like in the development part, what happens, today I have written some of the code, tomorrow I will surely change it. Means if I want to upgrade that, right? So like what happens if I upgraded it tomorrow, then anything change which is giving a heavy error, and I was like little bit forget like what changes I have done. So what GitHub will help you, like GitHub will help you to remark that like what all changes you have done. So it will be telling you every changes, every push you have done in the sequence manner. So I would say, like, if you are not on Git, like if you haven't signed up on GitHub, if you are not using GitHub, get please take a good time. Like, it takes 1 hour to watch any video. You can just go on the YouTube, find any 1 hour video for the GitHub. There are many YouTubers who have teased that, so you can just find any one of them, and just please, before starting any of the course, go with the basic of the Git and GitHub. These are really very important. Then you can learn more about the internet, HTML, CSS, JavaScript part. Okay. Now this is something like, if you have a really big goal with that, but for that I would say first learn HTML, CSS, JavaScript. Then a backend part. Backend part you can learn anything, MongoDB, SQL, whatever you want. Otherwise you can go with, like, for the small thing, like we can go with the Firebase too, because like Firebase is very easier and easy to maintain. Like, now we can go with, if you want to really go with the blockchain and more Web3 field, then you need to be more clear and more described with that. Now we have in this roadmap.sh, we not only have the front end part, we have the back end part. So I feel like it's very good to have with you. Right. So, like, what are the good channels? If you want, like, some of the good channels which you think which will be helpful for you, you can go with, for the JavaScript, you can go with the Namaste JavaScript. Okay. Otherwise, you can go with the Code with Harry, Aman Tarwal, like on Apna College. They, like, all the channel with the HTML, CSS, JavaScript. They are really teaching very good, and I think that's are something like which will be really helpful, because like I have also tested with the like Apna College. Like, that course was really good because they are using the practical implementation too, and they have near about 50 to 60 videos. Other than that, Code with Harry is also a very good YouTuber, like, who's teaching nice. But for the JavaScript especially, you can go with the Namaste JavaScript, and these are really very good, and these are more some resources which you can find, like Code Academy. And otherwise, many of us, like even I also like the written part more, like the documentation part. Then you can go with the W3 school. W3 school is something like best, which I like, which when I was doing, because like even if now also I get any problem, I go with the W3 school. W3 school is like really very specified, and it will be showing you more about the practical implementation part too. So even you can go with the W3 school if you are liking the documentation, right? So this is something like power of CSS. Like, so basically CSS is thinking as a magic, because like it's giving all the colors and the body and the margin part, how to design that. This is something the work of the CSS. So yes, this is something like power of CSS, then the magic of CSS which we see. Now this is something the resources. If you want, I can share you the PPT too, or otherwise I can directly give you the resources. Right. Hmm. Okay. This is the particular HTML resources, CSS resources, and JavaScript resources. Right. I would like, what I will be doing, I will be sharing you the PPT at the last. So like, this is your task. I will be giving you the like 5 to 6 days, 5 to 6 days, and you can just revise your HTML and your CSS part. After that, like after you have done that HTML CSS part, and you can see any of the login page, and try what you can do. Try to create any HTML or CSS page, right? Okay. So I will be giving you 5 to 6 days. You can just revise your HTML and CSS and try to create any login or sign up page according to your design. And with that on that day, you will be like, with me. You can make the database part with the Firebase integration. So in the Firebase integration, there is nothing like any prerequisite. The Firebase is a platform where you just need to sign up with your Google account, and just you will be able to use it, right? So like my part is done. If you have any doubt, you can just ask me, or any resources or something you want. Anyone have like any doubt?
If anyone have any doubts, you can type it in the chat box and we can address them.
Okay. So like what you can do, like you can for the for 5 6 days, you can just go through the HTML and CSS and make sure to make a login or sign up page, or according to your design, according to your need, like whatever you want, name, email ID, password, any roll number or anything you want, right? Like any ID, so you can use that. Why use Firebase? Okay. Coders army, like Firebase is something like you use MongoDB, you use SQL. So Firebase is something like to store our data. We use the Firebase. Firebase is also a tool from the Google, and Firebase is not evenly like only used for the our web application. It's used for the mobile application too. So like if you like, I would say like most of the data for the login registration or other data like any API is storing, or any data like 50% of the companies are using Firebase nowadays. So now you can see like Firebase is really important. For the Firebase, you don't have any prerequisite. I will be helping you with that. You just need to make your sign up page. And if you are not able to make up the sign up page, what I will be doing on that day, I will be sharing you that GitHub, my GitHub link with the sign up and login page. And you can able to just download that GitHub repo, and you will be able to clear that.
There's one more question, we'll see.
Hmm. I'm not able to see. What is the question?
It's Harsh is saying ki I'm confused about label tag and input type tag.
Okay, okay. Like basically table tag you have seen, like in the table tag we have used we have make the table, right? In the table format we will be using like explaining all the things, but in the label for sorry, like let don't be confused. Firstly, go with the table format. Like table, in the table format, it will be defining the overall table, like whatever, how many rows you want, how many columns you want, and according to that, it will be specifying the table. So table is something like overall table, and in the label, like it's used to create a labels for the items in the user interference, like what a particular items you want in that. So this is something called label. So I think like it's more clear. Table is like whole table format, and the label is like to create a particular user interface for creating a label, like used with the input tag. Is it clear?
Yeah, there's one more question. Is there any other tool in web development rather than PHP?
Is any there? Can you repeat?
Is there any other tool in web development rather than PHP? It's on the screen.
Okay. Is there any other tool? Tool like PHP is a tool. I think Harsh, you are a bit confused. Uh, like PHP is not a tool. Are you able to understand like what his question is?
I don't.
Huh?
I don't understand. Maybe
Harsh, I think like
you
your
can
question
repeat the
is
question.
like because like same as a PHP is not a tool. I think you were asking about the VS Code, because like PHP is a like language for the web development part. PHP is not a tool. If you are confused between the like VS Code, you can use VS Code. Otherwise, you can use anything else. Like you can just use Notepad for the web development part. If you don't want to go with the VS Code, in the Notepad part, what you need to do, you just need to save your file with the tag, with the extension, and that you can open in the Chrome. So this is something if you are little bit confused. And if you are asking about the PHP, and I think what happens, like PHP is now not removed from the industry. Still we are using it. Even many companies are working on it. But like for the if you want to go the PHP, I would suggest you please try to go on the React part, more go on the HTML, CSS, JavaScript, because these are like more good for you. Are you interning somewhere, ma'am? Okay, yes, I am interning. Currently, I am interning at crosscert-aibrain. It's the German-based company, and I'm a AI app developer there. So, like, bit more interested in the machine learning. Yesterday, I have done a part with the introduction to the machine learning. So, do check that out because it was a really very good session. Okay, Harsh. Ha, okay, he was answering, I think. Right, Harsh. Like PHP is a language, and there is many stacks like MERN, mean. Right. I think all the doubts are clear. If any more, you can just ask it out.
Yeah, I guess there are no more doubts.
So yes, I can. I think like we can end with the session. Okay, we can end with the session, and I would say like after 5 or 6 days, we will be coming with the Firebase session and two more sessions on the ML part. So if anyone interested in ML or how to start their journey with the ML, so you can just see last session on the code flow only. That was also given by me, and we will be covering more two session on the ML part two and with the Firebase part two. Is there any other tool for the backend in the sorry. Okay, for the backend you are asking. So backend you go with the MongoDB SQL. You can go with any of one of them. Like you can even use the Firebase. Even you can use the MongoDB SQL. You can go with the anyone. Yes, Shubham.
Okay, so I think we can wrap up our session now. Thank you so much, Vilsi, for sharing all about web development. And thank you everyone for joining. So see you all. Bye bye.
Uh, Thank you so much.